All right. Well, I thank you so much for coming to Nikao, which means to conquer, to overcome, to prevail, and get the victory. And my guest today is Mr. Foundation, who is continuing to prevail and get the victory every day. I've had a pleasure of speaking with him, get my hair cut by him. And I know that trauma is something that he is very passionate about. And so I'm gonna try not to hold him long, but I know that trauma um, can be talked about for many, many hours. And there are so many people who are hurting. And I'll do another show with a young lady about what happens in mama's house, stays in mama's house. And that also is dealing with trauma. Um, and so, Mr. Foundation, my first question I wanted to ask, if you don't mind sharing just a little bit of your trauma.
Oh, it's an honor to share my trauma. At the age of 16, I was a very rebellious young brother out here, lost. I ended up getting shot in my lower abdomen, stomach,
Mm,
and that was the trauma didn't last but like probably 15 minutes because um, the way I dealt with it in a very resilient way, and I didn't know that I was being resilient in dealing with it.
okay, what do you mean by a resilient way? What does that mean?
To me, it was when I was laying on the ground waiting on the EMS to come. I had a conversation with God, and I asked God, "Was I gonna die?" And God said, "No, but I need you to operate in the spirit that I created you to be in. You're not in the
Mm,
spirit you created. You created this." So
mm,
I said, "Well, can I do the work in my community?" God says yes. So I at that moment I was going through the transition. It was so fast that I didn't have time to be scared or doubtful or
wow.
fearful. I never experienced those lower vibrations of energy
Mm,
because
wow.
the ancestors was sitting right there waiting on me to become obedient. And they was my angels. They can't remember in the Bible when Jesus was tested 3 times by Satan in
Hmm.
Matthew 4, verse 1 through 11. And after the test was completed, the angels came
Angels.
and
Mhm.
ministered to him.
Yes.
And so that's what happened to me. I had that same experience. So I didn't like once I got out of that, I didn't go back in that. It didn't bother me.
Wow.
It
Wow.
never irritated me. I have no bad, painful memory of it or anything.
Mm. Now, did you ever have counseling for
I,
it? So you obviously you didn't have, or your
I
counseling
rehabilitated
was,
myself.
yeah.
My counseling was when God told me I had to. Well, when I seen I was 16 and the brothers I was hanging around with, they was 24,
Mhm.
and so they was old enough to guide me correctly, but they didn't. They um I I put myself in rehabilitation. I cut away from them. I started going to the old Fort YMCA. I
Mm.
met a barber named Roger Miller, who's still my mentor. I met Sam Underwood, Titus Underwood, uh, Graylin, and a new set of brothers who taught me strength. They let me hang out at the YMCA, working out, playing basketball. That became my safe haven. So I'm rebuilding myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. At the same time, I'm staying away from the trouble.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I rehabilitated self.
Wow. That's
I didn't even know none of I had never heard the word counselor. I never knew nothing about I'm 13. I'm living in Eden Green. I don't know no I'm living in the inner I don't know nothing about mental illness, stress, trauma, and all that. I never heard those words.
mhm. Wow.
I mean, if
Wow.
that makes sense, that's
Yes.
my story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it don't pain, I mean, hurt don't affect everybody different. That's why if you train to be resilient, that stuff is just you just take courage to get through it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, do you feel like it affected you in any way? And it sounds like what you're saying is it affected you in a positive way because
Correct.
then you were,
Correct.
you know,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
okay, wow. And you don't really hear people give that positive way. It's
That's why so many people don't deal with hurt, pain in the correct way. They allow the hurt or pain to continue because they're not dealing with it in the correct way. It's nothing
mm,
but energy. You just have to deal with it in the correct way.
mm, okay.
Even in
So
place. Go ahead.
okay. So you say that dealing it in the correct way. What do you, what have you found is the correct way?
Oh, my first initial step to dealing with what I had to deal with to become the person who I am today, the brother who shot me,
Mhm,
like my crew, they wanted to kill him.
mhm,
And I told them, I said, brothers, can't do that. They said, why? I said, because I was out of order, brothers. Like, what you talking
mm,
about? The Bible say, honor your mother and your father, and all your days will be long and full of blessings. It's the first commandment that come with a promise. I said, we all out of order. We out here selling dope, robbing people, breaking in houses. I got shot because I was disobedient. My mother told me 15 minutes before I got shot, do not get in the car with them or something bad was going to happen. And I told her, mama, go in the house. You don't know what you're talking about.
mm,
By me doing what I was doing in the streets, this was my punishment that God gave me to get my attention because didn't nothing else reach me but getting shot.
wow.
That's how it happened. And I took it and ran, and I didn't look back.
Mm,
Only went back to go help people. Like I still go in the place where I got shot, right there on Anthony and Pontiac, that liquor store. That's why I go in there and just I pray and I thank God because that's where I met God. And the brother who shot me, we became good friends. When he died 3 months ago, I went to his funeral and spoke and told the story I just told you. People couldn't believe that I'm there, you
wow.
know.
Wow.
That same And I told my crew, man, we're not gonna do nothing to him. I got shot because I was disobedient. So you didn't do nothing, brother. Thank you. And the brother who shot me, he ended up shooting somebody else, going to prison. He did like 30 years in prison, back and forth. I've never been to prison,
Wow.
never been to jail. So he didn't take that. When God gave him a pass, he didn't take the pass.
Mm, mm,
When God showed mercy to him,
mm,
he wasn't thankful. I was thankful because 22 people got killed that year that I got shot, and I didn't know that till years later when I looked it up.
mm.
Because every year they put how many people get killed each year,
Right. Yeah.
and I didn't know that. So this whole time I'm moving in divine mercy. Don't even know it.
Wow. Wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. So I was going to ask you, how did you have you used your story to help other individuals? And you say that you have. I know that you definitely share with the young men that come to your shop and things like that. Do you do anything outside of the shop?
Oh yes, I work for Dockside Human Services. I'm a case manager. Work with problem children that's in foster home, group homes. I do mentor work. I just did this brother. I spoke at True Love Church last week. Young brother Marcus Benjamin. He started the Kings and Queens Boxing Club for young brothers and sisters. I went over there and spoke to them Friday. I take young brothers, because so many young brothers they glorify this gangster stuff and
Hmm.
killing and stuff. I
Mhm.
take young brothers, I take groups of young brothers down to the courthouse to let them look at different cases. Like I just went to a trial last week. The little brother they just found guilty for killing that Caucasian brother and throwing him in the river.
Wow.
That was one of my guys I used to mentor. And I used to tell him, I said, brother, if you don't let God work in your life, man, you're going to have a murder case before you 20. He
Mm,
caught him when he was 17, 3 years early.
mm,
So
mm.
I showed I got a temp. It's called Throwing a Lifeline. It's a curriculum that I came up with that I mentor young brothers. I go into schools, ACJC, churches, Boys and Girls Club, Ewell Wilson, Big Brothers and Sisters. I just whoever called me, I go do the 10-week program for them. Did it at Wiser Park. I have to spread it. I got it. I got to spread that light.
Mhm, mhm. You said the 10-week program.
Yeah, it's called Throwing a Lifeline. It's a tick week.
Okay,
Uh,
it's actually okay.
yeah, I show brothers how to. I show them like if say you give me a young brother that's angry, I show him the whole in that 10 weeks. I show him so much that he's not gonna want to be angry anymore because now he understand what anger is and he understand
Mhm.
what anger gonna lead you to. I show you your whole roadmap.
Wow. Wow. I'll have to remember that.
I got a blueprint. If you want to save a young brother, this is a blueprint to save young brothers.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I do I do a lot.
Okay. Okay. Now, I know you have children.
Yeah,
So, what have you done to prevent what happened to you happen to them? How do you shield your children from walking or even being curious about that same lifestyle?
you
You know,
don't. You
that
can't.
led. Okay.
You can't shield them. It's everywhere. It's on the TV. It's in the schools. You can't shield them. You just you you know like this a brother in the Bible I love. Every day he would get up in the morning, Job, and
Mhm.
place sacrifices. He said, perhaps my children curse God in their
Yes.
heart when I ain't around them. So
Mhm.
all I could do is just keep on making sacrifices to God. That's it. It's like you can't really, because we all know Satan roaming back and forth, you know. So like I can just show them the path they on. If that's the path you want to be on, then you on that path by yourself. You don't get no aid and assistance from me, you know.
Mm.
I
Okay.
don't play with you because now you don't become my child. You belong to your father, the devil, according to the book, John 8, verse 42. If God were your father, you would love me. For I came from God. I've not come on my own, but he sent me. Why is my language not clear to you? Because you are unable to hear what I say. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desire. So you're not my child no more when you become disobedient. You belong to Satan. So I'm not going to feed you and cover you and let you live with me or none of that. And that's just how I became so disciplined because I know these spirits is real.
Yes.
I see it every day. I deal with it every day.
Definitely. Definitely.
And you call for discipline,
Mhm.
which so many people lacking when it comes to spiritual warfare.
A lot of people don't want to believe, like they
Well,
only want
hey,
to
well, I
believe the
don't. Hey,
heavens, but
well, how, hey, listen, sister. I'm 60 years old. I'm not going to get into that debate about what other people believe. I believe in what I believe. Hey, I one time I was a fool, so you got
oh,
to come into your understanding like I did.
oh no, I
Well,
believe.
I ain't
Oh
saying
no,
you.
I
I'm
I
saying
believe.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
definitely.
saying when people like they try to take you off point. No,
Mm,
I'm not even going to go there with you. You go there.
mhm. Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not. I'm
definitely.
sitting here looking at a letter from a brother. Well, go ahead. My fault. Next question.
No, no,
My
no. Go
fault.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I got this letter from this brother right here named Brother Henry Mason. He been in prison 28 years. He killed two people, two girls, you know, and he write me letters saying how his mind gone and mentally ill he is. But I know that if he was that mentally ill, he got a very beautiful handwriting, is very articulate person, and
Mhm.
he's clearing how he's expressing himself and where he at. If
Mm.
you was crazy, you wouldn't be able to do all this.
Exactly.
So and I help him. He been on death. He got life in prison. He's gonna die in there, which he should for what he did. So
Mm.
I got a prison ministry also. I write to brothers in prison, because
Mm.
that's sometimes when you can really reach people because they telling you they truth. Just like in the Bible, the difference between the church and John the Baptist ministry. John the Baptist ministry, he met them right where they was at, the prostitutes, the drug addicts. He
Mm.
think they demons, and he didn't judge them, and he healed them. In the church, they judge you when you like that. That's why the churches is empty and dark and gloomy right now, because they become demonic. Some of them, not all, but some of them.
Mhm. Wow. Well, I know a lot of individuals who have some sort of trauma. They are like the trauma that I experienced. I wanted to make sure that it didn't happen to my children. And I saw it as one of those things that took place, like molestation. It took place, with me, with my mother, and probably my grandmother, probably her mother before her. And I was just determined to break that cycle. Are there some things that you've had to be the breaker in your family?
Oh, you mean I call it the Redeemer?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Because my mother's story is so powerful and resilient. At the age of 4, both of my mother parents died. She was in foster care from 4 to 16, being sexually abused. We're dealing with the 40s and 60s,
Mm,
and the protection of young kids in DCS was zero. Um, so I was the first to get a high school diploma in my family. I was
mm,
the first to get a college degree in my family. Um, I was the first to go to the army and complete it, get an honorary discharge. I was the first person to, like, my daughter, my oldest is 40. Even though we don't have a relationship, probably the last 14 years, she has access to me anytime she's ever wanted to. But her mental illness and her sickness won't allow her, and I understand that.
mm,
Um, but I broke the cycle because I grew up without a father. I didn't know my father till I was 13. I mean, till I was 16. I didn't know I had no father until I was 16. That title had never been mentioned around me. When I got shot, my mother said, "I'm going to call your father." I'm like, "My what?" I never heard that. Never even was never curious about it because I realized, man, I'm a young brother. Man, my crew, a father would keep us in the house. Our fathers, we looked up to the. I mean, I seen real pimps and real drug dealers and real gangsters. So we looked up, those was our images, like kids looking up to rappers right now. I
mm,
looked up to that image till I got old enough to and mature enough to understand that's the dark side of it. It's a dark side to this. And that's the dark side that our people is getting took out the game. If I'm a drug dealer, I'm taking a little kid from his mother. I'm taking it, then he can't be still in school and focus because he worried about his mother. So I'm causing him to be
mm,
get. So once I began to see the dark side to what I was doing, I can't do that. I had to break this curse. And
mm.
I understand the generational curse because my first wife, her family, they got like, her father did 35 years in Michigan City. Her brother did 5. They both got out, went back, got out. Both of them did. Not a grandson in there. He doing 115 years. He been in there
Wow.
20 years.
Wow.
The Bible say I will visit the sins of the father to the 3rd and 4th generation for those who hate me, but I will lavish my love on you 1,000 generations if you can just keep my commandments in love. Once I read that, I began to stop doing stuff that would put a curse on my children.
Wow.
And I took it serious. Most brothers, it's so many brothers that die leaving a curse on their family, and they don't even know they left a curse on their family, sister.
Wow.
And that's a subject you don't even hear about.
Mm.
We dying, and that's why I didn't want it. You talking about breaking the curse? My granddaughter was just left here, had her cooking breakfast with me. I got a good relationship with my children and my grandchildren. So I broke the curse. I never had that relationship with my father or my grandfather.
Awesome.
So yeah, I broke a lot of curses.
Awesome. Awesome. Now I know my final question. I know that you do a lot and you are involved in a lot of different ministries and things of that nature. Have you ever wanted to quit? Have you ever wanted to be like, you know what, this generation these days, just never mind. Has there ever been a
Never,
no? Never. Awesome.
never. Because that's the devil talking.
Awesome.
I don't listen to the devil. See, if I leave my post, do you know me how many young brothers and sisters would succumb
Wow.
to the demons? I'm
Mm.
on a mission for God. God will let me know when it's time. And until that day, I'm going to do it fearlessly, purposely, and honestly. See,
Wow.
I'm a warrior. I ain't one of them ones. I'm the real deal because I understand these demons, y'all shouldn't have never took my daughter from me with this mental illness stuff. Y'all shouldn't have never did that. So I don't have, see, some people afraid of their demons or afraid of demons. I don't have that weak, I don't have no, the demons, like in the Bible, it said, remember when Jesus got out the boat, he came to the cemetery as a brother in the
Allegiance.
cemetery. Right.
Mhm.
And see, when I read that, that gave me so much strength and courage. You know why? People miss this. The demons did something they shouldn't have never did. They begged. Why would you beg Jesus to send you somewhere else? When a person begged, that let me know that they not strong as they think they are, right?
Ah, yeah.
So
Wow.
why would I give this demon who's a weak beggar any
Mm,
power and strength over my thinking? They shouldn't have never let
mm.
me read that part. 25 years ago, I've been slaying them.
Jesus. Wow. That
I've
is
been slaying
wow.
them.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's in the word. All I gotta
It
do
is
is
in a word. It is. It
just
is.
use the word against them. They using the words against us, so just reuse the word against them, and you stand on it. See what happened when I found out people. If you still dealing with old stuff, then you stuck in illusions that are not real. The person who hurt you, even if they came back and said, "Hey, I'm sorry," that ain't that ain't gonna solve your problem. It ain't gonna happen until you tell yourself you sorry for
Mm,
carrying that person demon all them years.
mm. Jesus.
You gotta tell yourself you sorry for letting your body get contaminated with that demon and being okay with it. Cause wounds so like my gunshot wound, it don't hurt. I can hit it. It don't hurt. Wounds heal. But when you so used to staying in trauma, that's all you do. Stay in trauma. You know, brother go to prison, he get out. First thing he do is parole officer telling him, do not go around people, placing things that got you in trouble, right?
Hmm.
What's the first thing he do? Then he started doing what? The same old thing that got him in there, right? Then he back in jail waiting to get sentenced again. Then he goes back to prison. Guess what? That whole cycle is full of nothing but stress. He's so used to being in stressful environments. How old are you, sister?
50.
Okay, have in your 50 years, had you ever had 3 years of nothing but straight peace? No irritation, no hate, no brokenness, no violations. For 3 years, had you ever experienced total peace?
Not for 3 years straight. No.
Right. So you're not accustomed to being peaceful. All you know and your body done got used to stress. And you had to change that. And once you change that, then you can spread your wings and hey, that what like the dude who shot me, hey, wherever I go, he's like, man, I love that brother. Because I could have killed him. And he know I could because I became the man. And I still have power. When he was in jail, dudes wanted to get at him. I'm like, no, don't do that. Man, that was my fault for being disobedient. You have to learn to forgive those who hurt. Then when I got to really know him, guess what was going on with him? He was hurting. That's why he created an image of a gangster to cover up his brokenness. Instead of talking to me like, man, I'm going through something. That's all we got to get our brothers to do is talk from their heart.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's all. I mean, that's simple, man. Just put your hand on your heart and talk. Don't talk from your anger. Don't talk from your brokenness. Don't talk from your hurt. Talk from your heart. That's where God relies.
Now you asked me a question about 3 years without peace. So how do you live in peace?
Easy. Just live in it.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it ain't. You see, we ain't nothing complicated. Protect your peace at all costs. If a person is disrespectful, remove that person. If the spirit ain't right, remove that spirit. Your whole job, I'm 60. You got to be able to protect your spirit. You got to be able to protect your peace because we spirit first. But so many of us trapped in our souls. And then our souls is trapped in our physical flesh. Right?
Yes.
So can you hold a wind in your hand?
No, I cannot.
Can you put the wind in a jar?
No, you cannot.
Can you sail the wind?
You cannot.
Right. So if you the spirit, how can you be contained in trauma and hurt? You the spirit. You a spirit. We are spiritual beings. We're not humans. Some of us trapped in that, but we spirits.
That is awesome. This has been so good.
Well, sister, it's real though. Everything I said, I'll put my life on it.
Yeah. This has been good. This has been very informative. And you're talking and I'm thinking like, oh, I have to make sure such and such hears this. I have to make sure, and I have to go back and listen back over it also. Cause yeah, this was good. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for.
Well, it ain't me, sister. I'm just doing my father's work.
I know. Thank
I
you
don't
for
want.
obeying.
Yeah, that's it. They
Thank
just
you
take
for answering
obedience.
the call. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Just I try to answer the call, man.
Yeah.
And
Thank
that's
you for
what's
answering
wrong.
the call.
People. We got to start healing our women. I'm tired, sister. I am so. I don't want to go to no more funeral homes to cut no more young brothers' hair because they done being killed out here over a disagreement. I done been over 320 times to the funeral home to look at these young brothers with bullet holes all in their body and their mother out of their mind. She never returned back to that peace. I do the work for the mothers. So they won't have to ever experience that trauma. Because once you're in that trauma, some people you die in that trauma. I know women died in their trauma because their kids got killed. I'm in court Friday, little young brother I told you about, they found guilty. His mother say, I'm sitting here in court knowing I can't do nothing to help my son. Your son in a position that he done put you in, and you can't even bail him out. A mother can get a son out of everything but them clamps of that court. They give him 140 years. He only 18 years old.
Wow.
I just went to court last week. A young brother he 14, he killed this 17-year-old. They gave him 65 years. But y'all can't keep playing with these guns. Don't think people going to The court ain't like your mother and father keep
Right,
on yelling at you. Once
right.
they say one thing, they don't repeat it. When that judge say 65 years,
Mm,
she only said it one time.
mm.
If you want to know it again, you got to ask your lawyer what he just said. So I'm disciplined. When I'm teaching, I tell them one time.
Mm.
What did God say? One time, let us create. Let the air be here. Let the water be here. Let the sun. He said, let there be one time. That's discipline. Talking and keep going. No, no, we're not going to do that. You know right from wrong. If you know how to do wrong, you know how to do right.
Okay. Okay.
All right, sisters.
Well,
Next time, call me. Let me know.
thank you so much for
Oh
your
no,
time.
thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
It's not my time, sister. This is God time. I'm just
Yes,
a spirit.
thank you. Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right,
Thank
peace.
you. All righty. Thank you.